Hello, I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay. I think the first one didn't seem to have any sound from it. From what I've seen on my settings, I hadn't actually mainlined my audio in. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Please pop a comment in the box below if you can't, and I will have to do this on my smartphone. We're still playing with this a little bit to see if it's all working, so we're still getting set up. So please excuse that. This is our second attempt of Website Wednesday. We're discussing websites that don't deliver return on investment and what you can do about it. As I say, if you can't hear me, please put a comment in the box below, and we can take things from there. I'm recording this on Zoom, so I'm literally having to switch between different tabs and different bits and pieces, so it's all fun and games this end. Anyway, so yeah, I started Website Wednesdays a couple of weeks ago now, a few weeks ago, and the idea behind them was to essentially just give some website advice, website tips, website tricks, that sort of thing. First and foremost, I'll introduce myself. My name is Robert Haler. I'm the Managing Director here at Boost Digital Media in Torbay. Not too sunny today. It's a little bit miserable out there, I think, from what I saw earlier on today. And it's also quite muggy, so it's definitely not the summer that I was hoping for. But there we go. The show must go on, as they say. Right. So today we're going to be looking at essentially websites that don't deliver a return on investment. So these are typically websites that you've had built, so you've had made, or you've invested some time in. Whatever it is, it's a website that you have put something into it, and at the end of the day, that website has to bring something back to the table. If it doesn't, then it's kind of not doing your business any favors at all. Over the past 4 weeks since starting these sessions, our videos have been viewed 150 times, which is awesome. Thank you very much for that. If you've missed any, the video option is left-hand side. I think it's like the 5th or 6th one down. Click that, and you should be able to see all the videos of myself talking about websites and all the fun things you can do with them. So that's that. So let's get started. First and foremost, why did you want a website in the first place? I would imagine that when you woke up on Monday morning, it wasn't to basically have a website for your mum to see or for your friends to see. I would suspect it was to generate some kind of revenue or some kind of leads for your business. Many moons ago, when we first had the internet, websites were just put online as a marketing tool, either A, because your competitors had one, or B, because it was cool and trendy to have one. They weren't really seen as much of a lead generation tool or anything that's going to be substantial. How wrong they were. Then people started buying and selling things online. I think we had eBay, and people would essentially e-commerce took over. And over the years, we've seen people start turning their websites from just being a simplistic, bog standard, there it is, into a fully fledged lead generation and marketing tool for their business, which in return is delivering an ROI for their business. So some of the common purposes that we get here as to why people want a website, some of them are things like lead generation. Occasionally we get things where they want to buy something or they want to sell something via an e-commerce store. We've had the one or two people that want to start up a food business, and we've enabled them to do that by allowing people to order food online. And equally, we've had a business come to us that want people to book in the meeting or have some kind of diary function whereby people can book in some time with that person for whatever, maybe it's consultancy or whether it's basically listen to ourselves at a website meeting. Most websites, especially those that have been thought about or thought through properly, will deliver some kind of return on investment, whether that is a lead or whether it's a sale. Normally, when we think of ROI, we are thinking in monetary terms. So ideally with every business, whether that is a lead or a sale, the website has to be bringing something into the business. Otherwise, as I've already said, it's an expensive marketing tool. So what can you do if your website isn't generating any kind of leads? It's not all lost. First and foremost, if it's not generating any sales and it's not generating any leads, then you'd have to look at why. Why isn't it? What's the issue here? Is it down to the website isn't loading correctly? Are the pages not structured properly? Call to actions or CTAs aren't clear. You have dead ends in your website. The website isn't loading quick enough. It's not mobile friendly, or in some instances, the user doesn't trust the site. So for instances for the dead ends, what we're referring to there, let's say, for example, you're driving around a place that you don't know, and you drive down a roadway that you're not familiar with, and all of a sudden you're in a dead end. There's no way to get out. You've got to reverse to get your vehicle out of the roadway. Similarly with website visitors, they don't know your website. They weren't in the meeting when you sat down and you structured it. They weren't there for that meeting. So they don't know how your website is structured, what page leads to where. So if they're being presented with a 404 or page not found error, the likelihood is they'll click back to get back to a page that they're familiar with, potentially Google or potentially your home page. So any dead ends that you have on your website, spend some time getting rid of them. So that is either you do a 301 redirect, so you basically get the web page to redirect to another part of the site. So that could be a blog post, it could even be your home page, somewhere on that site where it is a lot more valuable for the user to be on. So that's dead ends. The other one is website isn't loading quick enough. So if you think about it, when you click on a link, if your user is sat there for more than 3 seconds, that user's clicked away. That is the length of time that you have from the click to the loading of that first page to get the person's attention. After that, that person is clicking off and is already shopping on your competitors' pages. So spend some time really checking out the performance of your website. If it's not loading fast enough, if it's full of dead ends, you can't really expect to have plenty of leads being generated. Depending on what the problem is, whether it is to do with performance or dead ends or CTAs, whatever, you may need to look at restructuring the website. You may need to think about restructuring the content, the flow of the pages. Let's think about it. Below the fold, that is where the screen cuts off the web page. Anything below that you can't see. Let's say, for example, you want them to sign up to your latest newsletter. They've been to your website 3 times. You know this. The next article you put out for that particular user has a nice, very crystal clear sign up to our newsletter midway point through an article that they're reading. I think that would help increase people that are going to do, yes, I'll sign up to that. Then if it would be to be below the fold, if that same sign up form was below the fold, I don't believe you would get as many people signing up to that particular newsletter. So let's think about a typical blog post. When you click on the blog post, you read the article, and at the bottom you normally have a comment box. Do you fill in the comment box for every single one? I would suspect not. But if you found an article that resonated with you, that related to you in some way, you'd probably leave a comment. Either you add something of value, or you would, in some ways, either share the article via social media. You'd engage with it in some capacity. So when you're thinking of generating leads via your website, think about the content that you're putting out there. Again, back to what we spoke about last week, content is king. Creating content that resonates with your audience and solves their problems is going to result in some kind of interaction, whether it's a comment on the blog post or a direct signing up to a newsletter or whatever it is you want them to do. End of the day, throughout all of this, you need to be thinking about your users' behavior. Now, by that, I mean, where are they going? How far are they getting down a page? Where are they coming from? And what are they doing on your website? Within Google Analytics, there's a nice big tab called Behavior. Hop into there. You will see everything you need to know about your audience, where they're going, what they visited on, how long they've spent, and their bounce rate. Bounce rate is often where they've basically read the article, yeah, great, I'm gone again. Exit rate is where they've just basically not even bothered waiting for your website to load. They've clicked exit, don't want to know. So when it comes to working out why you're not getting as many leads from your website, look at the content, look at the flow, and consider how you can make it better for them. I mentioned briefly on people that may not trust your website, so they may not trust your brand. Unfortunately, that's a bit out of scope for this particular Website Wednesday. Essentially, with a website, especially a new business, you are kind of in the realms of, do we trust it, don't we trust it? Yes, there are things that you can do to ensure your website is trustworthy, but we'd have to really look into what that is, what's causing people to believe your website is an untrustworthy source. So we could look at things, put things like an SSL certificate on there. We could put things in place whereby it shows that you are an authority. We could get you joining local authoritarian sites in your industry, and just doing things like that to really help boost people's confidence in you, confidence in your brand, and especially for new business, that is mightily important, that people have confidence in you and your business. So one of the problems that we often come across is people are getting traffic and a few sales, but it's not quite what you wanted. You wanted more sales. I mean, by now you want to be on the Bahamas on the boat and enjoying your retirement. Well, unfortunately, those days are long gone. So you scrap the boat, scrap the Bahamas. But fundamentally, if you're not getting as many sales on your website, what can you do about it? Essentially, we think of customers coming to a website in 3 different stages. The first one is research. And these people aren't interested in buying. They don't want to buy from you. They don't particularly necessarily care really what else you offer them. What that person cares about is what solution you have for their problem. So let's say, for example, you buy the latest iPhone 9, iPhone 12. That's your latest iPhone, and you want a case for it. Are you going to be particularly interested in, I don't know, let's say, for example, the new deal on a Samsung Galaxy S4? No. Are you going to be interested in a deal on Samsung Galaxy accessories? No. At the end of the day, what this person's interested in is, can I get a case for my iPhone? Is it going to protect my iPhone? More importantly, can I get it on a price that is affordable for me? The next one is comparison. So these people have done their research, they know what they're looking for, they know what the case they want, they know enough information to go, right, I know what case I want, where can I get it that's most affordable for me for one, and where is it going to be of a high quality standard? And they'll hop onto all your competitors. They'll probably open 4 different tabs on the browser, and they'll bang compare you against them all. And speaking from experience, what normally happens is they will go for the person that A is offering the best price, B that's been around the longest, and C can deliver that product within a very quick turnaround. You're talking 24 hours or less. The next clientele you've got are those that are ready, those that have done the research, those that have done the comparison, they've read the reviews, they've looked into your company, they've looked into your business. They know plenty about your company to make a decision to buy from you. And these people are dead hot, ready to buy now. They've bought your product, they're now ready for their order. Now let's imagine, for example, after all that work as a customer, you've bought the product, you've researched it, you've compared it against their competitors, you've spent quite a lot of your time looking at the product you want to buy. You're then greeted with the fact that it's going to take them 6 days for that product to arrive. As businesses, and certainly as e-commerce businesses, that level of having to wait for your product is not acceptable. Unfortunately, today we live in a world whereby you can click on Amazon, buy a product, and within less than 24 hours, it will be in your hand. We live in a world whereby it's very much a turnkey operation, and as such, your business, whether you're new or existing, your business has to become almost turnkey. Literally, order is placed, it's shipped. No fluff, no entanglements, get it out the door. The quicker it's out of your warehouse, the quicker it will be in the customer's hands, and the quicker they'll be leaving you positive feedback. So always think about this from the angle of the customer. Where are they in their buying process? 40% of all customers that come online are not ready to buy, which means 60% of them are either comparing or are ready to buy. So if we split it and say averages, so 30 and 30 for comparison and ready, the other 60% is made of, 40% is made of people who are just researching, just looking into it. There are things that you can do to help the buyer with that process. So for research, get yourself a blog on the website, talk about the different cases, show them different cases. If you're selling a service, talk about the different service options, talk about if it's an insurance company, I'm sure there's many levels of insurance. Make it fun, make it exciting, try and find ways to ignite people's passion into the service that you're offering. With comparison, there is nothing stopping you taking your business price, getting a competitor's price, and putting the two together in literally a table, either on the product page or somewhere within your website. How do we compare against competitor A? How do we compare against competitor B? Here's how you compare. Here's the X's that you compared yourself against. Bang. You've done some work for them. You've kept them on your website. You've kept them interacting with your brand, and you've shown that, more importantly, you care about their efforts that they're going through. For people that are ready to buy, make it simple. There's nothing worse than loading up a product page and you have to scroll through 1,600 sentences to find the buy now button. You literally have when you're ready to buy, you want the product, a bit of blurb, buy now. Keep it short, keep it simple. At the end of the day, these people aren't waiting or don't need to be messed around. They just want to buy the product, get the product, move on with their lives. That is literally all they're looking for. Think of it almost like I suppose the one-time deal. That's all they want, is just to get their product and move on. In some instances, you may have analyzed the user's behavior, you may have identified some of the pages that need amending, but you just don't know how to do it, or one further word, you can't do it yourself because your site was built by developers that didn't give you the ability to basically change the flow or change the structure of the website. In this instance, I would always recommend that you reach out to the agency that built the website and ask them and tell them what you're trying to achieve, what you want to do, go to them with your ideas and discuss them. They will be the people to best recommend a way to get your website pages to flow better, so that essentially they deliver some kind of return on investment for your business. At the end of the more time you spend looking at this, the better it's going to be in the long run. Yes, it's going to take some of your time. It will probably take a considerable amount of time. What I would do is I would start off by taking one page where you want the person to convert. Let's say, for example, you've got a very popular blog post. So on there, you've got all the information you need. Somewhere on there, you've got a contact form. You've got something where they can fill out some details to send to you. I'd start playing with it. Where does that subscription form or where does that contact form best fit? Does it fit halfway through the page? Is it better to have a blue button than a green button? Is it better to have a red button? Do we have a pop-up? Pop-up should be used sparingly because it does affect your SEO. So there's various things that you need to look at, that you need to think about when building or when changing the flow of the website. Play with it, analyze it for a few weeks, tinker with it again. The more you change this, the more you play with this, the better you'll get at understanding your clients, your users' behavior, and your website as a whole. For us, for instance, we have always tried to work with what we've got. Clients often come to us with a website that they've got. They don't really want to sort of change it too much. However, in some instances, we've had to turn around and say, look, your website needs to be redone. We need to relook at it. We need to remake the pages reflow. And in those instances, it's a case of, if the website isn't delivering for the customer, then by rights, that website is failing. So we've covered quite a lot about how you can use essentially websites that don't deliver return on investment. We've looked into what you can do, the different stages that a person is at when they're buying from you. Fundamentally, a lot of it comes down to you as website masters to look at the website, look at the flow, and being honest with yourself and asking, is the experience that my users are getting solving their problem? And if you answer no, then it's time to look at the flow. It's time to look at how it's working, how it's all, how can you best make those pages better for your audience? The more time you spend on this, and the more time you spend getting into the nuts and crannies and nuts and bolts, the better it will be in the long run, because eventually your website will start converting those visitors into customers. It will start selling products. It will just start generating some kind of revenue for you. There is a lot more that goes into a website than just basically putting it online. Many moons ago, people think you put it online, people come. No, they don't. Once you've got the site online, great. But you're now just one of 2 billion other websites that are online. That is a massive amount of information and data that you are competing against, and your website has to be the one that they go, yes, I'm going to buy from you. Yes, I'm going to give you my email address. Yes, I want to know more. The last thing you want people to go, nope, don't want to know anymore. I don't want to deal with you. I'm going to go to your competitors. Speaking of experience with e-commerce stores, it is very much a case of do the best you can to deliver a product that is reliable in a timely fashion and that is meeting the client's needs. They will done their research. They know what they're looking for. Your job is to ensure it gets it to them in a timely manner. Don't leave them waiting 6 days. Don't leave them waiting any longer than is necessary. If it's going to be late, reach out before you know it's going to be late. So we've covered quite a bit there. This is the second attempt of doing the Website Wednesday, take 2. Literally, I've actually called it take 2 in the title. If you do have any comments, questions, or queries, pop them in the comments box below. I will respond to them. I do try to keep on top of them as much as I can do. Next, hopefully in August, quick update for that. August, we're hoping to try and get a legal professional person to come in to talk about GDPR compliance. It'd be nice if anyone knows anyone to pop some details in the comments below. I'd be very grateful for that. Bit of a mention if someone knows anyone who deals with GDPR, that'd be great. As obviously what we want to do is serve this information back to potential to yourselves, so you can get all the information about websites, what you need to do, what you can do to increase your website traffic, website flow, and so on and so forth. As mentioned before, my name is Robert Haler. I'm the Managing Director here at Boost Digital Media. And if you need any kind of website support, hosting, or digital marketing, don't feel free to shout out. And I shall look forward to speaking to you very soon. You take care. Have a great day.